Hi, welcome again. Can I have you introduce yourselves for the people who might not have watched the interview, but they probably have?
I'm Jo. I'm Christina's double, Beatrice's character.
Tell about your background.
Well, it all started when I'm joking. Background, martial arts is my background, and then got into stunts a few years ago. Warrior Nun was my first big project, and it was like a really good start because it was just like an amazing all-round production with people and the departments and the actors and the story. So very lucky. And yeah, Warrior Nun was so good that even the people that have been in the industry for like 10 years all said, oh, this is the best project we've ever worked on. So yes.
So I'm Vanessa. My artistic name is actually Vanessa. I'm Vanya, my real name. I'm into stunts for 5 years, shooting for 5 years, but Warrior Nun was also my biggest project. And I'm Alba stunt double. Hi. I see people here writing. My background is Jo, that's your favorite. My background is yoga. And actually, yoga didn't help me a lot with the stunts, but actors in Warrior Nun really loved ending the rehearsals with quick yoga sessions. So this is it for now.
That had kind of been part of the first question that we had prepared. And so like the average person sees stunt doubles and stunt performances as kind of more adrenaline junkies or people kind of chasing that like impossible, what can our bodies do? But for safety, many people come from these technical backgrounds. Yoga, as much as it's not that big flipping, is a lot of control, and martial arts as well as a lot of discipline. How have you found the culture within stunts and transitioning from your backgrounds?
You want to start, Jo?
Sure. Yeah, so with my martial arts, I used to compete and fight as an amateur. So, you know, it's a good, martial arts is a very, very good background, but you have to learn to adapt it for stunts, because when you compete, you are literally fighting and making contact, whereas you don't do that wherever is possible when you're actually performing. So I guess in a way, you know, when you're fighting in stunts, it is actually safer. And you're right when you say, you know, stunt people have this view that they're adrenaline junkies, but you know, I can't speak for everyone. I'm sure there are people like that, especially when it comes to bigger, you know, high falls or motorbike stunts that really have that risk factor. But when it comes to stunts, whether it's a fight scene or a big stunt, it's all about risk management. And so like, I'm a very safe person, and you have to be, because for example, if your actor is performing, you can't just think, you know, I did it and it was fine for me. You have to really risk assess and see the small safety things, like, is the floor slippery? Are they wearing heels instead of flats? So those are the things that go through your mind as well on a micro detail when it comes to safety. So that's my answer.
It all started with me with training. First, only the training. I loved challenging myself every day with so many different things. And adrenaline was something that really pushed me into stunts. It was love at first sight. When I entered in the training hall and I saw people falling from a ceiling, smashing on the ground, fighting with swords, and so many different choreos at the same time, and I really felt that this is my place, because doing yoga is totally different, but it's I have that feeling that you have to be ready for yoga, because nowadays yoga is more like just like sport. It's not the philosophy that I'm feeling that yoga is. And just practicing yoga, the physical part of yoga is not enough. And nowadays yoga is only sport. And being there and feeling that I'm not into that thing that is my thing actually pushed me into stunts. And when I saw that, I really wanted to be better and better every day. And that is hard. I'm learning every day. And like Joe said, it's when you go on set, you have to think about the slippery floor, to think about so many things, and you're learning to adapt very quickly for adapt for so many different things, which is quite useful actually in the world outside, not only in stunts, because this is very fast developing world, and you have to adapt. Otherwise, the world will eat you, will beat you. The life will beat you.
Do you think that your competitive nature, Vanessa, has driven you to compete, or not compete, but to go to even more projects in the future?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm competitive person, but I'm competing mostly with myself.
Right.
Because there are a lot of people, they're motivating themselves from other people, but they want to be better than Joe, than me. They want to be successful, more successful than me. I'm not that kind of person. I'm competing with myself, and I'm trying to be better every day. So today I'm on that level, and tomorrow I want to be on that level. But if Joe is better than me, I'm not jealous. I'm not envy. I'm happy about her being so good. I'm trying, if I like something that she's performing, I'm trying to learn that thing, but not stealing. I think that people around the world are so competitive, and they want the success only for themselves, and that is not the right thing we should do. I think that is so much for everyone, and if we help each other, because in our training hall, if someone can do many more much more than you, he is helping you to increase your level. He is not pushing you down, or trying to tell you how you're a loser or something like that. We're just helping and increasing the level side by side. So I'm not that competitive person as you think.
It was more of with yourself. Yeah. So I've seen on your Instagram the motorcycle.
I'm what?
I've seen on the Instagram where you're riding motorcycles. Is that something that you'll move into with stunts?
That is a quite new thing. I learned to ride motorcycles 1 month ago. I took yeah, and I bought motorcycles, so I'm getting used to that, and it's something very, I can't explain it actually, but this makes me really happy, and this is a passion. I have a lot of things, like I have expensive phone, but it's necessary for my job. I have a car, it's not expensive, but I need the car to do everything. So I have a lot of things that I have on my own, but these things are necessary things. And the motorcycle was the first thing in my life that I did only for myself. And this is, yes, I own it, but it's just passion that I didn't bury it this time. I just didn't want to leave it like that.
Good for
And
you.
I'm thinking, of course, if there is some stunt with motorcycles, but definitely not super dangerous stuff like this, because motor stunts is really different world, and it's really expensive, and it's really taking your time. And if I decide to learn like being really good at motor stunts, this means that I have to leave the other things that I'm doing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
In the broader sense, I mean, motorcycles are a section of stunt work, but it's a very vast industry. There's the combat that we've seen both of you do. There's the wire work as well. There's fire work, there's driving, there's horses. Yeah. Is there something new that you hope to get into with stunt work at all? And is there something you've done that you want to avoid doing in the future?
I probably won't do motorbike stuff. I'm pretty sure on that. I know. I mean, we all change. We're like, oh, I like this. And then 5 years later, you're like, oh, no, I don't like it. But yeah, for me, I'd rather not with motorbikes. It's it's risky. And I live in London. When am I going to ride a motorbike without, getting hit? So yeah, motorbikes is something for me that I probably won't enter. Something new I'm starting. I'm actually going to start horse riding, just for basics and just another skill to add. And depending on how much I like it, will kind of show me how much I want to do it. But yeah, that's a new thing I want to try, is horses. Can you horse ride, Vanessa?
What?
Can you horse ride?
Yeah, this is something I really want to learn, because I cannot drive the horse properly. It's not listening. Yeah. This is something that I want to learn also.
Big time commitment, and like building a relationship with a horse is a really impressive thing to do. I also just started lessons, but yeah.
Kind of put me on was because you get people who have done horse riding all their lives and they still go, I know nothing. And there's that aspect of it's a living creature. It's not a car, it's not a motorbike, it's a living creature. And because it's living, it deserves your time, not just, I'm just going to get on and have a bit of fun and then go home. I feel like, you need to respect the craft as well, where if you're just doing it a little bit is, that was quite hard for me to overcome. But due to the nature of my job, it seems to be coming up that I think I will need it. So I'm going to start. How are you finding it?
Quite interesting. I've been working with one horse specifically, so going in and grooming it as well and building that trust and relationship. And I find it really enriching. It's really cool to have something very dedicated to. Along those lines, I guess, I'm also a circus performer and starting to get into stunts. So one of my favorite scenes, and most impressive in my own opinion as well, to watch was the fight scene in season 2, episode 4, where Ava, Beatrice, and Michael are fighting an entire group of possessed congregation. There is a 1.5 minute camera pan with no breaks in it, where the stunt people, the actors, and the camera all kind of work seamlessly, switching in and out for combat versus face scenes. What's the process going into that, and the rehearsal time, and working with the camera versus the actors and everything.
Glad you enjoyed it. It was a really good scene, and it came out really well too. The process so that wasn't originally, scripted or given any direction by directors and producers to be that one shot kind of scene. That was something that Kai, our fight coordinator, really wanted to do, because kind of after reading the script and looking at the space, I can't speak for him, but I think he was like, in his head, like, this kind of shot would just work really well, and give an opportunity not just for the actors to have one fight, and be separate, but for their fights to cross and have that interaction and show that interaction between their characters and build a level of story within the fight. So that's what he pitched, and he pitched it to Lee, and then we made a previs and sent that to the directors and producers. For scenes like that, it does need more rehearsal than maybe like a 1v1, or even, the main actor versus 5 goon kind of fight scenes. So yeah, it was pretty well rehearsed. It was pretty, Vanessa, was it, how much, was it more rehearsed than our other fights? I think it was. So long ago now, I can't remember.
I remember that we had rehearsal on that day, and the schedule was mistaken, and I had to be on rehearsals and without sleeping shooting, and then coming back for rehearsals. I think we had rehearsal only on only one day in the training in the warehouse, and then rehearsals in the on the location.
Because we had, I can't remember how much the actors came in. Maybe they came in to do their individual parts, and then they all came in together, because obviously everything interacted. And then we also had rehearsal with the camera department, which we don't normally get, but for this it was essential. So we had just one rehearsal with, I think his name was Florian, and he was really good. He picked up the camera choreography so quickly, of kind of where to be at the right time. So that was super impressive. And then we rehearsed on set with all of the supporting artists as well, because that even that was super important. With them all running around and doing that acting, they needed to know what zones in the church to completely avoid, where not to cross, where to cross, what time. So they played a really important role as well. So to that degree, where kind of each department has a rehearsal is quite rare, apart from scenes like that. So we always want more, because we want things to be perfect, and if we could do one more rehearsal for everyone, that'd be great. But it was enough in the end to do a really good job. So yeah,
this was one of the funniest scenes for me, actually, because it's switching between double and actor all the time during the whole scene, and it was hilarious with Joe and Christina. They were just hopping up and down to hide themselves. Yeah,
and then it was like, go down, run around the camera.
And Joe was crawling, and Christina.
It was like this matrix zone in my head, because obviously I couldn't look in the direction of the camera, just in case I was on screen. Like, maybe the camera moved off, maybe it didn't. I didn't know, because it was behind me. So I'm like, is the camera there? Just like feel the camera. Is it there? Oh, I think it's gone. I'm gonna move. And yeah, that was literally just like on all fours, just crawling like, okay, I'm gonna be in now.
Yeah, it was very funny actually.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Like there were like split seconds switching between actors and stunt doubles. And it was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I got lucky with Christina because she's so good.
True.
Joe, I wanted to ask you if, because I know that you prep for the epic fight scene for a while, where you're in the chainmail, the last episode. Did you know the impact that that fight sequence would have on the audience, where, you know, B is kind of totally going out of her element and what she believes to say, this is who I love, I'm fighting for that?
Honestly, not at all. You know, you read the script, but how everything looks in post as opposed to when we're prepping and when we're doing it, you rarely get the same effect unless you're like there before and the actors doing their performing scenes, and it's, you know, you get that gravitas. But like how thing, you know, when you're doing it, sometimes you feel like, oh, this feels a bit like, am I doing it well enough? And then you see it in like after, and you're like, oh, that is surprisingly amazing. Maybe it's because me and Vanessa were just like, we suck, and maybe that's just me and you. But
Yeah, I would say this for me, not for you.
None of the fans feel that way at all.
That's great. It's really good to hear. But yeah, just kind of how it all got put together. I was such a good edit. Yeah, no, it turned out completely better than what was in our heads at the time. Obviously on the day, like Lee, coordinator, saying like, yeah, really good job with the performance and blah blah blah. So he can say that, but you know, it's kind of proof is in the pudding when you actually see the final product.
And a lot of those scenes have very nice cues that line up with the music. Did you have like a tempo or a set timing to a lot of the choreography, or did that kind of happen naturally?
No, not at all. Music is always post as well. So we design it, the fight choreography to be a good beat. So it's not just monotone. It's not just strike, 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 strike. It has this cadence and rhythm to it. So that's kind of another aspect you think about when doing fight scenes, to have this rise and fall within the fight. So that's kind of, you know, stunt team, fight team, they do that. Anything music wise is just completely the composer's choice. So yeah, it's great how they saw it, and you know, they fit that music to it, and it fits so well. But yeah, no, we don't really have anything to do with music. Sometimes we put music on our previses as well. I don't think we chose a music choice like that. I do remember one of the other previses, we actually, one of the guys, so Hannah's did a lot of the previs and editing, but another guy on the team, Mirko, did one of the previses, because sometimes we were just so busy, we had to split into teams to do previs. So Mirko did a previs, and he actually put Ave Maria to that previs as well, but it was a different one. But yeah, I don't know if they got inspiration from that. I'm not sure. I guess it's just a little shout out to Mirko for, you know, spotting that as well. That would go nicely in a different scene. Like it's a good strong song for the series. But no, completely separate, and complete props to the composer and editor for that fight.
That's new information. Thank you. I didn't know that. On Instagram, you had posted about a flatbread party. Can you explain what that is to this American?
For what?
It was
I
the
thought-
flat. It was like a flatbread party. It was with the baby.
Oh, this thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, these are my friends, and they have babies at the same time. So what about that post?
Yeah. What kind of party was it with the bread?
Well, this is I don't know. Is it only tradition in Bulgaria?
I think so.
When the baby is 40 days old, they do that celebration, which is that bread, big bread. The mother of the mother of the mother or the mother of the father have to split to have a bite from the bread, and this is something that it's like not curse. I can't explain it in English. It's all the close friends, the girls, only girls have to be on that celebration. I don't know why, but all the close friends, they're wishing to the baby the things that they want to have or to achieve. And yeah, this is just positive celebration, and I'm not really into that celebration, but if my friends appreciate that, I'm totally 100% into this, and I'm really happy that I was part of their celebration, because it's energy that you can't explain. Actually, you can explain energy. You're feeling the energy. Yesterday I told you about the vibe. You can't miss. You cannot. You're feeling it. It's not something that you can cheat or to fake the vibe. It's just something that you're feeling. So these kind of celebrations are so amazing for me, because I love kids, and I think the kids also feel that energy from me. And these little babies, they're so cute. Joe, don't puke, please. But yeah, that kind of celebration.
I love it. Thank you. I saw that and I was like, I don't know. I've got to find out. I've got to ask. So thank you for explaining it. It's awesome.
It is. It's really quite touching for your soul. It touches you so deeply. Joe.
Joe, yeah, I'm like, Joe's like, when is this over?
I was like, you don't ask me questions about kids.
We can go back to some stunts
Yeah,
then.
yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, it's acting as well. You're kind of working with the actors to create the way these characters move, and you're performing these huge intense scenes with fights and everything. How do you kind of prepare for something that big and emotional, and going into a huge momental fight scene like that?
Any fight scene in particular you're referring to?
I had the hallway scene on my mind, but I mean, all of them are very follow that same ups and downs and can get quite intense.
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. Kind of, if I'm learning from past, when it comes to, you know, the acting, it's something, you're right, it's quite undervalued, I guess, that stunt people have to act well, and even some stunts they don't think they need to, because it's, you know, it's just performance and whatever you're doing. But yeah, the element of acting is very strong, because you're playing this character as well. Although we don't have lines, it's, you know, displayed in the movement and in the body, which is easier for some people, is harder for other people. It varies. Looking back on that scene, it would have been nice if, you know, we read the script, and when we do rehearsals with the actors, we can talk about, you know, try and understand what they have going on in their head. Because for me, when, you know, whether it's Warrior Nun or the projects I've done after, sometimes I do a fight scene, and because I'm doing all of it, I don't get that feedback from the actor. Maybe I don't even see them sometimes. But for me, like, the actor is kind of your director, to be able to tell you, if you're performing parts for them, say like, okay, this is important for this reason, this is important for this reason. And that's definitely something I'm going to take into kind of future projects, to really get that feedback from the actor of, you know, and sometimes it's difficult because you don't know when you're performing or if they're doing it. You just don't know. Because maybe sometimes they say, okay, we're going to do a run with the stunt double, but maybe they run out of time, so you never do. So it's quite difficult in that sense. So kind of the only feedback you get, if there's anything important about the character that the actor can tell you, is during those rehearsal sessions. But for this, I didn't really get a rehearsal session because I was going to do it all. And the beginning bits and the end bits is just something that we knew we could run through Christina on the day, because she just picks things up so quickly. But yeah, it's kind of just regret talking to Kai and Lee about, you know, certain moments, or they see a certain moment where you can act within the beat, and they give you tips. But yeah, I would have really liked, I think, more feedback from Christina, because, you know, you play the same person, so she's the person I'd like to go to for that feedback. But yeah, I just said a lot of things quickly after one another. I'm not sure it made much sense.
It made much sense to me, so probably
Right.
to everyone else.
Just firing stuff out without thinking. Yeah. What about, how do you feel when you have to act more within fight scenes?
Acting like Alba, it was not that difficult for me because we tried to learn from each other. Actually, I didn't force her, but she was trying really to copy a lot of things that I'm doing, and also me. I was copying her and her motions. I was trying to look like her, but also she tried to have my technique. So we met in the middle, and it was not that difficult to learn the chorals, because if Alba had the time to learn the chorals, she was picking very quick the chorals. The thing was that Joe said sometimes they don't have enough time, and you have to do everything. Not only because of time, sometimes it's because of technique or dangerous things, but sometimes you're the stunt double, but you're not showing in front of the camera at all, because the actors are doing everything by themselves. And this really made me happy, not because I'm not working. It's not true, because you're in the whole other process, steps of the process, you're big part of that. But it's just because it shows that the actors really want to be into that process, to learn different things, and to just like us, just like me, learning a lot of things and learning more skills. For Alba, for example, she really enjoyed rehearsing. She really enjoyed training. She really enjoyed doing the fights by herself.
I think that was something that when we talked beforehand, I didn't realize how you had to match your moves to each other. How just the shoe would matter on safety, or how much communication you had to do with your actors to get everything right. There's a lot more to it than myself or anybody really knows.
Yeah, it's not work. It's not only work for me. And I think that if you are doubling, specifically some double, the communication is number one. The most important thing that you have to have with your actor. Otherwise, you cannot get into actors' shoes. You cannot really understand their personality. You need to know that person, because otherwise it's not easy to, because stunt performers, they are actors, but they are acting with their bodies. It's just not speaking. That's the difference between actors and stunt performers. And it's very important to know your actor very good. And I had really really big luck, not only me but all the stunt team with the actors we were doubling and we were working there, because all the actors, they were so open to communicate, to show themselves, like not hiding their emotions. We were all friends there, and this really helped for the process to be that good as result after all.
Yeah, that's something I really find amazing about a lot of these like smaller knit action or acrobatic based communities, is everyone doesn't put each other down, but celebrates somebody's milestone. And so being able to kind of step back as like more of like a coach role, I guess, almost to watch these actors go through these stunts that you were helping them with seems like a really awesome and special thing. Do you have a specific sequence in Warrior Nun or a different project that you're proud of completing yourself, or one that you're proud of coaching an actor through?
Well, for me specifically, no. I think this was project number. Not I think. I'm pretty sure this was project number 1 in my stunt career for now.
Until we get season 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
What about for you, Joe?
So in Warrior Nun, I think the church fight just turned out really well, because there was just such a like teamwork from everyone, and it was nice to see Alba, Christina, and Jack work together on this scene, and you know, they had a lot of fun, and they got to interact with each other, and they got to hang out, you know, on set together. And to see that pulled off so well by the actors is really, really nice to see, when kind of all that work goes in and then you're like, huh, it turned out good. Everyone had fun. Everyone was happy. That was really nice. And then for me, I think the bow staff scene as well, because I hadn't really done much bow staff work before this show. So that was like a big skill I learned on this job, which, as we said, is always nice to learn new skills. So that was really good, and you know, bonus because it turned out super great.
Both of you. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of a hopeful season 3, is there a fight scene or a specific stunt or trick that you want to see either of your characters do?
Ooh, I think you just asked a question that I need like a day to think about.
I know, it's a very dream world sort of stunt situation.
We all know that Kai wants guns, but what do you guys want?
Kai's stupid. Don't listen to him.
I know, a bow staff is so much cooler.
That's true friendship.
You know what?
You know that guy is watching this interview, right?
Talking about Kai. I will answer your question, but talking about Kai, when we did the first interview, he was like, Jojo, I heard you're doing an interview with Vanessa and Tanya. He was like, what if you come to Germany and you do it at my place, and then you're doing the interview, and then I break in through the door behind you, and then I try and kidnap you, and then we do a fight, and then I take my mask off.
Oh my God.
So why didn't that happen?
Because
They were being nice to us and not
didn't-
giving us a heart attack.
I didn't have time to go to Germany, otherwise it definitely would have happened. But yes, talking of that person. Anyways, to answer your question.
Now I remember for that big epic prank that we did to Nila. That was. Do we have time? It will take ages.
We've
But-
got the time. So if you've got the time, go ahead.
Really explain it in short, but okay, in short, Nila came and the day before we just took different parts, all of us, the core stunt team. We had different roles, like really crazy, stupid, or dumb ass people, like me being bitch, Joe being happy all the time. This is not happening, just to be clear. And everyone had different roles. Like Hannes ate raw broccoli, and he was bathing underneath the water cooler, and so many stupid things. Oh, Martin, the technical advisor, he had anger issues, and of course this is not very good for a person who is dealing with guns and and knives, and so many different crazy roles. And when she came in that day, we kept these roles during the half of the day. It was hilarious, really. It was very tough to keep the roles and the acting and not to laugh. You see me, I'm not really good at
Not to laugh. You were laughing the whole time.
yes, I was hiding.
This was Sylvia's stunt double that came in
That
late.
was a stunt double. And
Yes.
Right.
came
And
in-
you guys pretended to be
Yeah.
total opposite of who you were.
Yeah, pretty much. How it started was at dinner. We were like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we called each other by different names? And then,
This
confused.
just escalated.
But I was Vanessa, and then after a few hours everyone would then call me Joe. Wouldn't that be funny? Ha ha ha. And then we thought, oh no, but she already knows some of us, so that wouldn't really work. And then it just escalated to this, let's pretend to have really weird quirks. And then we met her, and she was also crazy in a good way, but she was a bit screw loose, weird stunt person. And then we were like, oh, we can really go all out on this. Like,
but she acted really, really cool. Like, okay, this person is idiot, but I won't tell him he's just an idiot. So, or this girl is a bitch, but okay, I have to work with her, so I'm not saying a word. And she was so kind to everyone, but thinking all the time, because these are her words after we exposed everything. She said, oh my God, people, thank you very much. This is not true, because I thought that you are all fucking crazy.
she was just professional, right? She was like, it's the first day, I've got to learn all this. So I just got to be professional and learning. And one thing Kai was doing is he was whispering. So we were like, Kai, okay, you got to whisper, which is like absolutely ridiculous. The fight coordinator who has to teach you the choreo whispers, like so stupid. And he's like walking around like, hi, Nila, my name's Kai. okay, we're going to start the choreo. Let's just go over here. Poor girl. But it was funny. She found it funny.
This hilarious.
Terrible people.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes.
Wanted to ask you, do you have any messages that you'd like to share with everybody? It's been almost 6 months and we're still fighting because we want to see you guys back there.
Yeah, like 100%. Like, thank you so much for all the appreciation and love you have for this show. It's crazy to see, and like, all of you are so committed, and we'd be so happy to get another season. Like, we had a great time. And to answer your question about in season 3 any stunts, I think kind of we would do what we did in season 2, but just like to a higher level, because like we didn't all know each other. We hadn't all worked with each other before. So if we came back for season 3, number one, we all know each other. We've had so much more experience since then. So if we were to get a season 3, we would just up the level, as much as we can, and hopefully we'd have the same producers, which gave us such freedom as well. So we would, we did our absolute best to really make the show, the action in the show as good as possible, coming from the whole stunt team, Kai, Lee, Kuko, who's the supervising stunt coordinator. We all really, it wasn't one of those things that was like, oh, this is just work, just turn up and do your job and go home. It was like, let's sit here and do the best we can. And season 3 would just be, after taking in like all the love and appreciation you guys have given, it would just push us even further to be like, okay, let's make something super amazing and entertaining. Like, we would feel that, not pressure, but in a good way, to really level up and make something great for you guys.
Thank you guys for being there and for listening to us. And also I wanted to say that that's amazing, your love for this show. If you really feel that love, keep fighting for that, not only for Warrior Nun, but for all the things that you love in the world, because people nowadays, they're forgetting about fighting for what they want. We're just thinking with our minds and we are forgetting our intuitions. The intuition is that inner voice that is closer to the truth. Everything else you're just thinking is the creation of the mind, and what we thought, what we learned, the perspective of the world, of everything that we just went through. And this is not what we felt. It's totally different. Just listen to your heart, and if it says that you have to keep fighting for Warrior Nun, just do it. And there is nothing more beautiful to achieve something like this, to achieve something that really wanted from here, not from here.